guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a natural purple smoky eye, which is great for going to work and also out on a date as well. We're going to first go ahead and get started with some primer. So today I'm going to be using the Luminous Skincare Sunscreen Primer. I love that the sunscreen is a primer at the same time, so it's kind of like a kill two birds with one stone type of thing. It is a little bit thicker, but I do put this on with the exception of under my eyes, because I do have a primer for under my eyes, which is my Smashbox Photo Finish Under Eye Primer. I love this thing for my under eye eyes just because it does really moisturize my skin under my eyes. I do always have the problem of patchiness whenever I put on my concealer under there, so this really does help out a lot. Next is foundation. I'm using Nars Full Coverage Foundation in the color Santa Fe. I love this foundation just because it is a very light texture, but it does give you a really nice full coverage. I usually just dab a couple of dots on my face, and then I'm just going to go ahead and use my handy beauty blender and go ahead and just blend everything out. I do recommend kind of like patting / sliding motion with this foundation just because it does really nicely move it around. It still gives you the full coverage. Usually I do use a little bit more under my eyes just so it can give a little bit of a base coverage for that before I put on my concealer as well. Speaking of concealer, I'm going to go ahead and use Boiing, my handy concealer in the color 2, and I'm just going to go ahead and dab this under my eyes, and then also a couple needed areas like under my chin, and then also I do have a scar on my right corner of my eyes, right near my eyebrows, so I do like to kind of add a little bit of coverage towards that as well. Next, I'm just going to go ahead and blend that in with my beauty blender as well. Now it's time to contour. I love this Nars stick that I just recently got. It's got a highlighter and a contour side as well. I usually just draw one line down under the cheekbone and then one up from my corner to the eye to the temple of my forehead. I don't really use the 3 anymore. I just find that this shape works best for my face shape, so this is kind of what I do. Next, I'm just going to do 2 lines across my nose and then a little bit on the little crease on the edges as well as under my nose. If it gets a little bit messy, that's perfectly fine. I just kind of wipe it off with my finger anyway, because it does all kind of blend in anyway at the end. Next, I'm going to take the highlighter side and put some on my cheekbones, and then also some on the other side of my cheekbones as well, a little bit down the nose, and also on my chin. And then, of course, it is time to blend, blend, and blend to blend all of that in to kind of create a natural contour for your face. The blending part is a little bit difficult sometimes, but I try to kind of move in a backwards motion, staying in that same shape. But keep in mind that after this, we're going to go ahead and bake the under eyes and everything, so it does kind of like clean up everything once we do some baking under the eyes and also on the highlighting areas. So just to soften up those highlighted areas so it's not one big line of a highlight, I just flip the beauty blender to the wider side and I kind of just blend everything out softly for the highlighted areas. To bake, I'm going to go ahead and put some Ben Nye powder right under my eyes and then towards the temple. And for this one, I do bring it all the way in on my nose towards the line where I drew my contour line on my nose. This does kind of give you this instant nose job, which I absolutely love. And then I do put some under my cheekbone to kind of clean up that contour. And also, I'm going to go ahead and put some on my nose, some on my forehead, and some on my chin as well. Next, I'm going to be putting on my eyeshadow primer, which is MAC's Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I'm just going to go ahead and put this all the way up to my brow bones. This is a little bit lighter than my skin tone by the tiniest bit, so it does act as a highlighter under my eyebrows as well. My eyebrows are microbladed, so I don't really like to do my eyebrows every day because I do like the more natural look. For the eyeshadows, I'm going to be using the Stila palette in the Moment eyeshadow palette. The first color I'm using is Whim, which is a nice coppery brown color. I'm going to go ahead and do a soft cut crease with a fluffy brush. With this step, if you do make it a little bit messier, that's perfectly fine. As you can see, I do go pretty heavy-handed with the color here. Keep in mind we are going to go ahead and blend everything out after, so if you are a little bit more heavy-handed like I am, that's perfectly fine. Once it's blended out, it does soften up the whole look. For the lid, I'm using the color Wonder, which is like a nice light pinkish copper color, and I'm going to go ahead and put that all over the lid. As you can see, for the primer, I don't usually put the primer all the way up to my lash line because of my eyelash extensions, so this step is going to kind of cover that line and kind of blend that in a little bit more where I have the primer and where it is my natural skin. Now to soften up the crease, I'm going to go ahead and put the color Desire. This is kind of like a nice matte, light pinkish skin tone color. So I'm just going to take a nice big fluffy brush and just kind of blend everything outwards. This is a great step that almost softens up any look that I do, that makes it a little bit more wearable during the day. Now to add the purple, I'm going to go ahead and take the color Glance. This is a nice purple color that I'm going to go ahead and do a line under my eyes with a smaller straight brush. And with this step, it's kind of like a thicker line. You're almost creating like a nice purple shadow under, since this is going to kind of smoke out the eyes a little bit. So feel free to go a little bit more heavy-handed. I do bring that up at the outer corner. We are going to go ahead and connect that after this, but go ahead and just kind of swing it up, kind of like a wing type motion when you get to the outer corner. To brighten up the inner corner, I'm going to go ahead and dab a little bit of the color Instinct. This is a very light, frosty, purplish, pinkish color. Don't go overboard with this, but you will be going overlapping into the middle a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and grab the color Glance again and just cover the middle back up to kind of create a nice gradient between the two colors. Next, to bring the purple up into the upper crease, I'm going to go ahead and take a long fluffy brush, and I'm just going to focus some of the purple on that upper corner, bringing it from the bottom to the top. Moving on to the eyeliner, if you know me already, you know that I love to use the Anastasia Brow Pomade as an eyeliner for some reason. I love using the different shades of brown. So this one's actually in the color Auburn, and I'm just going to do a very soft flick of a cat liner on here. Nothing too strong. I just find that it actually makes my eyes look a little bit bigger when I do this. For mascara, I'm going to go ahead and use Dior Extase. I love to use this for my lower lashes. I don't put any mascara on my upper lashes since I do have eyelash extensions on. I know that they do sell mascara that's specially made for eyelash extensions, but I just like them just the way they are. So I just put them on the bottom to kind of even it out. Now that we're done with the eyes, we're going to go ahead and just brush off all of the Banana Powder from all of the areas that we put on there for baking. Everything should just kind of come right off, and it should give you a really nice smooth finish. Now that we're all done with that, we're going to go ahead and just add some color back onto my face. We're going to use the Chocolate Soleil by Too Faced, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this right under my cheekbones, a little bit around onto my temples, just to add some color back onto my face. For blush, I'm going to use Dandelion by Benefit. I love this color just because it is nothing too intense, so it just adds a little bit of color onto the cheeks. And to finish off the highlight, I'm going to be using Soft and Gentle by MAC. I love using this on the upper cheekbones, a little bit on the nose, and then a little bit on the chin. For the lips, since this whole look is a little bit on the cooler side, I'm going to go ahead and warm it up with the color Understudy by Marc Jacobs. I love this color just because it's just a little bit of pink, but it does have a slightest hint of berry color in it, so it does look really nice with the purple. And that's the completed look. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to comment, rate, and subscribe, and also stay tuned because I'll be doing a lot more fall looks for you guys. Have a good day. Bye.